Hello again, brothers. This is Patrick Sullivan with One Small House. I'm your Catholic lay evangelist, meeting with you monthly to discuss all things faith, especially those things that relate to being men of God. Well, this month being the month of the Rosary, I really wanted to go back to a biblical theme, a powerful one, a necessary one that I think we've actually forgotten much about, and I certainly haven't heard it taught and discussed in years of late, so I wanted to bring it up with you here. The powerful and important theme is this: that my sight, how I see the world and therefore interact with the world, is of the utmost importance in ancient Israel and ancient biblical literature and so on. It matters how I see things, so much so that the demonic are actually at war with us from the very beginning of our existence to help us interpret, to help us interpret how we see the world. Go right back, right? Go to the garden. What do we have? We have the serpent, the Nahash. And the Nahash wants us to focus on what we see, how it appeals to our senses. Look, it's good. Oh, there we have that fruit. It's taken, it's grasped at, and all of creation changes. Go to the nephew of Abram, right? Lot. They have this moment where they need to split the land. And how does Lot decide? He goes out to this peak where he can see all of the land, and he decides, that's the side. It's appealing to me. My eyes like what they see. And he reaches out and he grasps it from his uncle. All right, well, let's do one more. And I think this is maybe more famous. I'm not sure. This is when David goes out onto his balcony one day. He should be at war. He should be with his soldiers, leading them, guiding them. But instead, he stays home and he spies out the beautiful Bathsheba. And seeing her bathe, he reaches out and grasps her, taking another man's wife. And again, all of history changes. Now, why do I bring this up? Well, you and I have this understanding sometimes that really the way we behave, the way we see the world, is really just a matter of us, ourselves, our own personal sin. When point in fact, the way we see the world actually affects history and all of creation. I want you to consider that. The world is at war in so many ways, yes, and always has been, but here's one that seems to have been forgotten. The demonic want you to see the world in a particular way. And when we get to the point where we realize this could actually be a sinful thing that I'm about to do or about to say, the trickery is this: well, the sin is in the object of my sight, right? Women need to cover up more. Or the problem is that place. Remember, Lot will spy out the land and it will become Sodom. Well, the problem was it was Sodom. No. The problem is what our intent is with what we want to do there. When we see the one, what rises in the heart? When we go to build a city, a town, a village, what rises in our heart? What's our intent there? Will this be another house of God? A heavenly city among men? Or will this be a place where sin abounds? There is an ancient and yet still prevalent, still modern war over your sight. Look at Jesus. Not only does he caution us time and time again against the blind leading the blind, and of course we know that's spiritual blindness, but he actually brings up real life examples that you and I have encountered ourselves, right? He says, you've seen the poor person. You know about the imprisoned person. You've encountered people like this, the forgotten, the lost, the unloved. And he says, if you just see that, you'll have missed all of it. Why? Because I am actually hiding there among you. Not only that, he says to those who are kind of grumpy with Jesus and giving him quite a bit of trouble, oh, if Abraham had seen what you have seen. Do you remember that? What I'm showing you, others in the past have desired to look upon. But why can't they see it? Because their intent is off. Because what is coming up from the heart is very off. How you see the world matters. And this is why the church gives us this month, the month of the Rosary. Why? Well, because the Rosary is primarily a way of seeing the world. When you pray it, you're supposed to see the world through the eyes of, the answer to this, his blessed mother, the one who saw him clearly, the one who saw him best, the one who was closest to him, not only in proximity. Remember, our Lord was in her womb, but the one through grace saw him with the clearest of eyes. Remember, St. Paul will talk about this. In the end, we'll see through a clear glass. In the end, the church teaches us, We'll have the beatific vision. That means we'll commune with him and we'll see him to the best of our ability. Nature and grace coming together to help us in one final hurrah at the Lord's Supper. So this month, brothers, I want you to remember the Rosary, yes, as a great vitamin if you need to strengthen, and yes, as certainly some kind of medicinal aid if something is wrong with you, you're spiritually sick, reach out for the Rosary, and of course as a weapon, as Padre Pio was so fond of saying. You have a fight to win? Good. Bring Mary in on it. She is fighting the good fight with and for you. But also remember this. With the Rosary, you have in your pocket a different set of lenses, a way of seeing the world that, when acted upon with the heart and the head, actually has the ability to change all of creation. What you do with what you see, that's going to save families. That's going to save whole societies. So this month, every day in fact, outside of this month, put on those spectacles. Look out and see the world the way the Mother of the Lord did. And once you see it, rejoice in it, thank God for it, because again, he made it. And it is very good. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son. God bless you, brothers. Have a great month and pray the Rosary.